Hello, everyone. As you may have noticed, I have not been posting as much content. I have not been streaming as much. I have not been active online as much for a good amount of months. And there's a lot to say, there's a lot to talk about. So this is going to be quite the ramble, I guess. Um, but I feel like it's important to be transparent and provide an update and let people know what's going on. Um, Long story short, I am going through both a mental and physical health crisis. Um, I'm past the worst of it, is my understanding right now. But I've still got a good ways to go. And another thing I should mention at the beginning of this, because I'm going to be saying a lot, is I've had to, just because of my issues that I'm dealing with, and how much time they're taking up and my energy and ability to do things, I've had to uh, rearrange and let go of and cut hours of some of my editors, which sucks. So I am leaving some contact information in the description because I know that I have YouTube peers, other YouTubers, other content creators, and people that watch my stuff that might be watching this. That if you're looking for some editors, they could use the extra work. So I'm leaving their contact information in the description. So please, if you've got work for them, hit them up. And yeah, I guess let's just jump into it, uh, as Philly D would say. Um, so it all started. There's such a fucking timeline with this. Holy shit. So yeah, I guess something that you would probably know if you've been keeping up with this channel. Scott, who is a huge part of the channel, um, one of the pals, Adam and pals, and did gaming channel stuff with me every week. And so I was, one of my best friends. He passed away, and that was in, I think, the end of June last year. So it's been under a year. And around that time, like, I was already dealing with, there was a, fuck, I do need the money, so I want this video to be monetized, but a self-harm leading in death of someone else, and who's, you don't know, but someone else who was a part of a friend circle. And even though I didn't know them as well, it was affecting people in my friend circle, and that was very stressful. And then as a domino effect of that, that led to one of my very close friends also becoming in that state, to a very serious degree that it required my full attention to try and help them, because that shit's contagious. And just as I was getting to the point of, like, feeling like that was getting better and I was helping that person, then that's when Scott passed away. And so it was a really big series of stresses and tragedies in a row. And then around that time, obviously I was grieving. I still am. But I started experiencing some really bad physical health issues, and that's something that was posted in the community tab here in January. There was a Reddit post that you can see linked there with some information about that. But basically, my digestive system was just absolutely fucked. So I got something called C. difficile, which is like a bacterial infection in intestinal, and that I was able to, I tackled with a round of antibiotics, didn't work, another round of different antibiotics, and then I tested negative for C. diff. And then, despite thinking like, oh, okay, like after, those months after thinking like, okay, I'm testing negative, things should start feeling better. My physical symptoms were still persisting and starting to get worse. And I was getting every test imaginable, trying to figure out if I was like deficient in something. I got like tests for my heart, like a Holter monitor and like an EKG. And all of these tests were showing back up as like normal. I got tests for like inflammatory markers and like autoimmune diseases, and things showed up normal. And then I was recommended by a doctor. So I didn't even mention my symptoms. So basically, yeah, my body was not digesting food properly. Everything was just fucking flushing through me. Disgusting. But literally, yeah, not my body just like wasn't absorbing food properly at all. And along with that came not just like, oh, my stomach hurts and I have to go to the bathroom all the time and all that shit. But it also came with like heart palpitations, which might have been like severe panic attacks. Like it was difficult to self-diagnose what was physical and what was mental, because panic attacks can give the same symptoms as a heart attack. Like if you look online, like every panic attack symptom is like a heart attack symptom and vice versa, which is just so fucking annoying and stressful, especially if you have high anxiety and like, maybe some mild hypochondria already. So that just makes things really difficult to figure out. And basically, like my energy would be fucking just completely decimated to the point where I didn't feel safe driving. I would have to like Uber just to go to all these doctor appointments, because my brain was just like not there, like extreme brain fog, extreme fatigue. Some days I would feel normal, and then at like 2 p.m. I just get hit by like a brick wall essentially, and within like moments just feeling like, oh shit, I can't think, I can't drive, I feel dizzy, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. And literally the only thing that would make it subside would be me laying down for like an hour or two, and then I would start to like maybe feel normal again. And that didn't always work. Sitting down didn't work, which is weird. Like I would have to be like completely prone laying down to like start to feel like I wasn't having a heart attack, basically. And so then a doctor recommended, because I was still experiencing all of this like really annoying, debilitating shit, affecting my ability to like work and do anything, be social, leave the house, etc. I was recommended by a doctor to get tested for SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And unfortunately, getting tested for SIBO is not done through like regular covered healthcare in Canada, because it's like I guess like a newish thing that they're still doing research on. So I had to go to a what do I even call it? I wrote this in my other post, but I already forget the name of it. Of my brain's just not doing well. Fuck, I can't believe I forget the name of. Anyway, a different type of doctor. Naturopath. That's the word. But they were still a doctor, but it just wasn't covered under like insurance. And I don't know. I'm not like completely convinced with like naturopaths in terms of like, it seems like they combine a lot of not hard science in what they do. But anyway, this was the only way I could get tested for that. And then I tested positive for SIBO. And then under the direction of the naturopath, I started a protocol to try and treat it. And this protocol involved more antibiotics over the course of however many weeks, like pretty strong antibiotics. And also like a really, really, really extreme diet that was basically like keto, where I wasn't able to eat like any like carbs or starch, or I still wasn't able to do any like dairy products or anything. Just literally all I was doing was just eating fucking like plain chicken wings. Like I couldn't have sauces, and that was fucking depressing because like, you know, losing so much, especially what, you know, one of my small comforts is food, but my body wasn't digesting food properly. So, you know, I had to try something. Also on top of this, Jesus, I, you know, my relationship of 3 years ended, kind of a domino effect. The other stresses in my life were kind of like revealing some things that I already knew to be true and needed to end. So that sucked because, you know, that I was trying to make things work with somebody that was living in Atlanta for a good 3 years and trying to set up a life there, and wound up having to move all my shit back to Vancouver and do like a huge road trip. And so moving, huge stress also, you know, relationship over, huge stress. And also just, I don't know, like I'm the type of person where, you know, as much as it's probably healthy for someone to just be comfortable by themselves, like I don't know, I'm the type of person where like it's important for me to be in a relationship. So having that happiness for, or something approximating it, for some amount of years, and then just not having a support system, not having a, you know, one of my closest friends who I was seeing like every several times a week, losing one of my closest friends and losing a relationship and moving and doing all this, having all these health issues. It was a lot. It was a lot. And even though I consider myself to have like a really strong mind, strong resolve, and, you know, just the mentality of like getting through things and processing and trying to come out of tragedies a better person, seems like it was more than I was able to handle. Anyway, did the whole protocol from the naturopath. Was supposed to experience some sort of improved symptoms after a month of doing that, but wasn't. And so I abandoned that because nothing was improving and it was getting worse. Um, I most of my December and January was spent like just bedridden, just like literally in my bed, unable to do anything, and just feeling fucking dizzy and sick, and like I you know, not functioning at all, just fucking depressed. Um, and there's some medication that I started called cholestyramine, which in the first week of taking that, so sometime in December, in the first week of taking that, I thought I was fucking cured. I was like, holy shit, I'm normal again. Things are looking up. And it was during that week that I posted like 5 videos on the channel because I was already like behind, and I was already insecure and self-conscious about things not coming out at a proper speed. But then I was like, holy shit, you know, I got my energy back. I got my brain back, and I pumped out like fucking 5 videos in December, like within a week. It was crazy. And then, unfortunately, for whatever reason, that period of feeling like things were okay did not last. Um, Possibly because of the protocol from the naturopath, because that's what I started shortly after. So that there's a good chance that that made things worse for me. The more antibiotics and extreme diet. Um, Fuck. Now it's May. I'm gonna try my best to like remember like the full timeline here. I've got like so many notes, but when the notes get this long, when there's so many of them, it becomes difficult to organize and get through. So, things that I've tried, all the things that I've mentioned so far. I looked into FMT, fecal microbial transplant, like literally a poop transplant. And I did that, but it did not improve anything. Perhaps maybe mildly, to the point where could have been placebo effect, so that didn't work. I've been told by every doctor that I should try to get a colonoscopy, but the wait list for that is ridiculous, because I'm not showing any like signs of like cancer or the inflammatory markers, or like all of the tests I've done so far have come back saying, oh, you're fine, you're normal. And so therefore the colonoscopy is not happening until like, I don't know, maybe the end of the year is my understanding. So in the meantime, I was able to get a CT scan colonography, which is less conclusive, but like can tell you some things basically. And if there's any like red flags or whatever, then they would find it. So thankfully, I was able to get that done. And once again, things look normal. So in one sense, that's a relief, because it's like, okay, well, I know there's no like tumor or whatever. But then also kind of frustrating not really having an answer. And so during this entire period of time, the windows where I'm functional, the amount of time where I'm functional is dramatically decreased since, like from a year ago, as in, you look back to some of the shit I was doing before, like creating that Kimba fucking video and the Lion King thing while working on like other projects. I was releasing like 4 or 5 videos a month while working on large projects. I don't know how the fuck I did it at this point. I was doing things in a very kind of unsustainable way already before the health issues. Um, anyway, with the decreased amount of time that I do feel functional, within those windows, a lot of that time is being spent trying to figure this shit out, which means calling doctors, getting tests, uh, getting procedures done, exploring different options. I have I've been doing so much internet research because I feel like my the healthcare system is just not providing solutions or answers, because clearly this is some sort of like mystery edge case, and healthcare systems, whether it be Canada or the US or wherever, like they're designed in ways where the most common solutions are the ones that are looked at. um, you know people that people that are experiencing things outside of the norm are going to have a tougher time finding help. And so on my own, I've been spending a lot of time looking into different potential things that could be causing this. I have figured out, I guess, like a close to ideal regiment of different medications that I'm taking daily that are helping. So now I'm basically doing a combination of cholestyramine, Metamucil, calcium and vitamin D, chewable tablets, Imodium. Right now, like 2 when I wake up and 2 before bed. And there's probably other things that I'm forgetting, but those are helping. Those are helping a lot. And still, despite them helping, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, if I don't take it for a day, things are back to the way they were. So they don't seem to be addressing whatever root issue is causing this, right? So I started looking into like vagus nerve stimulation, and I bought like 2 different devices of like things that will like electrically stimulate your vagus nerve. One of them's like a fucking thing that you put on your neck. One of them's a thing that you put on your ear, and you're supposed to like do that for like an hour a day or whatever. And your vagus nerve is connected to your gut, and if perhaps it can fix a gut issue. And I don't know, I've tried that didn't work. Some of these things that I've tried feel like in the realm of like snake oil salesman type shit, but when you're non-functional, you try everything. when you've exhausted all of the things that you're supposed to have done, you start trying more things, right? So now I'm at the point where, especially after the CT scan colonography, I'm considering the possibility that that it's more mental than physical. And mental issues do cause physical issues, much like panic attacks mimic the symptoms of a heart attack and are very real. severe depression and anxiety can cause gastrointestinal issues. Like all of these things are connected, right? Your brain and your gut are heavily connected. And like extreme anxiety can, you know, it I'm exploring every avenue at this point. And so I went and got checked out by like mental health professional. I got diagnosed with ADHD and severe depression and severe anxiety and mild PTSD. um, and so now I'm exploring different medications to try and alleviate or resolve those issues. And so my thought process is, now that I know that I have ADHD, and now that, especially spending so much time thinking about it, it makes so much sense. And also, they said that I'm likely autistic, but they couldn't diagnose me because they weren't specializing in that. I would have to spend $2,000 to get diagnosed as autistic as an adult, so I'm not doing that. Basically, there was a point, I think in early March, where, or maybe, I don't know, sometime in March, where my depression got so bad that it was kind of fascinating, because sometimes you might think of depression as like, a situational mood of just like feeling sad, right? But what I was experiencing was something, I think I'm gonna have to look up what this is called again. Anhedonia. I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm just gonna listen to Google. Anhedonia, where essentially, despite actively going out of my way to try and do things that I know would make me happy, things that I enjoy, I wasn't able to find joy in those things. I wasn't able to lift my mood up despite doing things that I know should make me happy. Whether that's, like be around friends, or, I had like a person that I really care about come and visit. And we, went to a couple restaurants and spent time together and did like a fucking couples massage thing, even though we're not a couple. And it was disturbing that even like a physical sensation was not something that I could feel positively. So I like literally I was getting a massage and unable to feel the positive physical sensation of getting a massage, which was a very fascinating and disturbing experience of just knowing that, okay, something's really fucking wrong here. Like this isn't like a mood thing. This is like a brain chemistry thing. I guess the two are maybe interchangeable. I don't know, but so that was the point where I was starting to realize that the depression and anxiety was serious, like serious enough that I needed to spend my existing physical and mental resources on trying to address that. Um, and perhaps, I don't know, perhaps this is all just a part of grieving too many things at once. Perhaps this is all just like a domino effect from that. What's kind of throwing me off is the fact that I had C. difficile, right? That was like a verifiable, testable, diagnosed thing. That was an infection that I had. And that started around the same time. And so like that's kind of what's threw me in the direction of it being a physical thing. And perhaps it's a combination of both. I don't know. I still don't really have answers. And it's very frustrating. So I have started trying different ADHD medications. Because I've previously tried some antidepressants and they and had bad experiences with them. However many years ago, I think in 2016. Wow, damn, that's been a long time. And I figure, a lot of my depression and anxiety could not necessarily, maybe not necessarily like ADHD is the root cause of it, but it could be exacerbating it, right? And so if I am able to go on some kind of stimulant medication that helps me process my anxiety better, then that could help. And so I've tried different ADHD medications now. This is pretty recent. And I'm having very positive results and experiences from them. So it feels as though I'm more calm. It feels as though I, despite not being completely free of anxiety or panic attacks, I am now at a point where I feel like I have more tools at my disposal mentally to be able to process and deal with them. And so they're not as bad. The lens through which like the depressive states would exist, that's improved a lot with ADHD medication. However, there's always a however. Right now, the ADHD medication that I'm taking, despite having really good cognitive benefits from them, they're making my blood pressure too high. So it looks like I'm going to keep having to try different meds or maybe a different combination of meds. All the while I'm still doing all these digestive meds. I'm basically a walking pharmacy right now. And I'm still figuring things out, and I'm still tackling different things. I've quit a sleeping pill that I was taking for like 3 years, just in case that was causing my issues. I've quit nicotine in case that was causing issues. I'm basically treating this as like a challenge, a battle, right? And doing everything that I can to tackle this as quickly and efficiently as possible, because I just want to get better, right? So, as things are right now, the amount of hours in a day where I am feeling as though I'm functional is increasing. There are more days where I'm feeling normal. And there are more hours in those days where I'm feeling normal, basically. So I am not, I am no longer in my completely debilitating state that I was in December and January. However, with that, I'm making commitments to myself to continue doing things that I feel are helping these improvements. I'm going for walks every day, like outside. I didn't used to do that. I'm, giving myself time where I'm doing something that like is for me and not working. So I'm like listening to some audiobooks while I'm going for walks. I am exercising again. So I'm like going to the gym. I'm trying to be active and healthy. I'm trying different diets. I'm trying different foods. I'm trying my best to journal and log which foods I'm eating. I I have so many fucking notes. It's so stupid. Basically, yeah. Like I'm logging my meals and my bowel movements and my moods every single day and trying to form connections and see what things work and what things don't. And so I have some suspicions of like certain foods that are causing issues and certain foods that are not causing issues. Weirdly enough, burgers seem to be fine for me. I was never much of a burger person, but now I'm like eating more burgers. Like bread is fine, like bagels, like thick bread. Um, Dairy seems to probably be not great. So I'm limiting the amount of dairy that I have in a day and taking lactase enzymes to help my body digest it. And so as where I am right now, and the reason I'm making this update is because not everybody saw the text update. A lot of people are just kind of wondering where things are, getting a lot of questions of like, will you ever go back to long form content, or how come you haven't been streaming, or like blah 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 blah. And so I feel like it's important to be transparent. There are certain things that are much easier to do than other things while I'm still dealing with this mental and physical health crisis. I seem to have no issues, scheduling and recording like an Adam and Pals watch along thing. Just like off the cuff commentary, humor, reaction stuff is very easy and doable, even in some states that have like some mild brain fog and fatigue. So those are pretty doable. There are some Adam and Pals videos being worked on right now. The Oscars one is almost finished being edited by some editors. And then there's 2 others we recorded that are going to be edited as well. The Patreon content I've been doing consistently and is easy to do. So I do a monthly ramble, much like the one I'm doing right now, except on topics that are voted for by patrons, and it's also available to watch on the membership. So if you click the button below the video, you can listen to the monthly rambles. They're minimum 30 minutes long each month. Some of them are hours, just depending on the topic, but like, I don't know. I try to aim for at least 30 minutes. So I've been making sure I've been doing those. I'm still doing my podcast, which is again just like a conversational type content. The most difficult thing to do with extreme fatigue and brain fog is something that requires like actual planning and coordination So like the longer form reviews have obviously been hit the hardest. Um, but but I feel like I'm very close to a state where I'll be able to start tackling those types of things again. And they're not going to be, right into fucking Lion King Part 2. Sorry, I know. I want to make it too. I'm passionate about it, but I want it to be good and I don't want to release something half-assed, right? The reason why you like the first one is because there's a lot of effort and planning and coordination and thought put into it. So I wouldn't want to make it any other way. Um, but yeah, there's other fun things that I can dunk on that are less intensive and less um, of nightmare projects to coordinate that I should be able to start doing and have released in the next like couple months, I think. And that's a big I think, because right now one of my big focuses is also just trying my best to do things that are making me happy. And although I do find enjoyment and satisfaction out of, creating essay videos where I dunk on things and, watching movies in theaters and getting my thoughts out and all that. Um, I'm trying my best to not fall into the same patterns that I was in before all of this happened, because that was unsustainable. Um, so we are approaching a position where things are going to start being normal again in some amount of months. And that normal is not going to be how things used to be. It'll be a new normal, but it will be normal again. Um, I've looked at, there's so many other channels that exist that are doing long form content, but they don't do all the other shit in between that I've been doing. Like it's a focus on long form content where videos, a fucking badass hour long video will come out every few months, or 3 hour long video or whatever, maybe like a couple a year or something. And so I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe that's the direction that this is going. I will continue to be doing film festival coverage. Surprise, I did pretty okay despite being at a I went to South by Southwest. There's a video posted for that. It was a very short trip, and that was like pretty shortly after, like, I think the me experiencing anhedonia for a while. Anhedonia is how Google said it. I don't remember. My timeline's just fucked right now. It's so difficult with so much of this shit happening. It's really difficult to have a correct sequence of events. But I remember I was feeling like almost like I wasn't going to go because I felt too ill and was just mostly in bed. But I went, and that went surprisingly well. And even though I did start feeling sick again on the last day and I had to miss a couple movies, um, it was kind of shocking just how much better I was doing in a different scenery, in a different environment. Um, and so that's part of why I'm doing another film festival this year that I've never done before. I'm doing SIF, and I'm doing that soon. Because that's an easy one to get to. There's some things there that I'm interested in checking out. Some of them were things that I missed at South by because I was still sick and had to miss some things. But I seem to be doing better when I'm like not in my room. uh and so perhaps there's like a mental effect of just me not being cooped up in this environment. I've actually like reorganized and changed my room in a way that's much less claustrophobic. And I feel like that has helped a lot, but I don't know if it's the fact that, you know, Scott was in this room so often. Like maybe there's something in my subconscious that's still processing that. But essentially what I'm trying to say is I'm doing everything that I think that I should be doing, with my mental and physical health being the priority right now. Because none of the other shit that I'm trying to do work-wise can happen unless I get my mental and physical health in order. And once again, it is improving and we're past the worst of it. So we've got things on the way. I apologize that things are not at the level of frequency or standard that they were before. I've also like, there's some projects that like I've gotten editors to work on that like, me being unable to like record new content for a good amount of time, I was like, okay, can you work on this? And basically, so yeah, there's a video. Alex and I talked about a talking cat and a talking pony on the Sardonicast. I was like, that would be fun with like film clips, right? So we could do something similar to the YMS and IHE rant about Trap, and we did one about Saw X. So those are on the channel. So we got another one of those coming for Talking Cat and Talking Pony. And that one's been waiting for me to look over for like a month or two, but I felt like self-conscious about the fact that like, there's been such a dry spell of content. I'm like, is this what I want to release like of the first thing in a while? Just kind of like dreading, people that are wanting like good quality content, looking at that and being like, isn't that just repurposed audio from the podcast? And it's like, yes, it is. But that's kind of what we're forced to work with right now. Also, I feel like it does work. There's more humor when you're able to show film clips with it too. So it does fulfill a different purpose. So I will be posting that. I'll probably post the Oscars thing first, but that is still being finished up, and I still need to look over it. There will be a video for SIF. Oh yeah, I should also mention, because people are probably going to suggest this, I've checked my house for carbon monoxide leaks. So like I've gotten like an inspection done. Because if I'm feeling worse at home, like that would be something to look into. So I did look into that. It wouldn't appear as though there's any like mold issue or anything. As I'm, doing all these fucking doctor's appointments and getting all these requisitions and blood tests and all this shit done, I decided to re-examine my tendinitis, because that is something that is still an issue. My tendinopathy, which obviously prevents me from editing as much as I'd like to, and also very frustrating recently. It prevents me from being able to like play music for very long. One of my sources of like therapy, like my largest source of therapy, has been just processing things by writing music, right? And so not having that outlet has been very tough. So I went to a specialist for tendinopathy. I got a MRI and an X-ray done, and I will be getting PRP injections on my right arm, which is less invasive than surgery. And I was actually recommended by the specialist not to do surgery and many other people. So a lot of people experience, like a lot of people, it just doesn't make things better. The specialist said that like the damage on my tendon is similar to that of what you would expect out of a good result post surgery. So he's saying that like surgery wouldn't really be like a viable option. And so with these PRP injections that I'm getting done on my arm at the end of May, I'm told that things get worse before they get better. So I'm going to be unable to use my arm for a good few weeks at least. Once I get the PRP injections, basically you have to like stab it and re-injure it in a way to like promote the healing or something. I don't really understand, but that's what I'm told, is that like I'm basically hurting myself to get better. So hopefully that works. That would be a fucking godsend if my tendonitis improves, because not only will I be able to do more editing on my end, but I'll be able to like play music, and have like a proper emotional therapeutic outlet, which I, clearly need right now. And it would be nice to be able to like record some new stuff, even if it's like an EP, maybe not a full album. It would be nice to get some shit out, So yeah, expect that. Expect that I won't be able to do much with my arm at all for June, I guess. Yeah, it sucks that this has happened. It sucks that, I'm losing subscribers, but I accept that, maybe I'll go under 1 million. Doesn't really fucking matter. It's kind of out of my control. I know that people want good, consistent content and, high effort videos, and I want to get back to making them. And I've now organized things with like a new plan with existing editors that I've talked to to have like a good way of doing things that can be sustainable and still work. And yeah, so I'm gonna be trying my best from this point on. My plan is to, still maybe do some quickie in theater content, but that definitely won't be the focus. I want to get back to the long form passion projects, or, dunking on funny things with jokes, things with rants, you know. I want to finish my 2016 list. I want to finish my Synecdoche video. I want to finish Lion King. And then there's a whole bunch of other projects that I want to get done as well. So, yeah, unfortunately, we're not quite at the end of this. Perhaps things are never going to be back to 100%. But I feel very strongly that things are going to be sustainable again in the next couple months. And I've desperately needed to make these changes because I've been eating through my savings with all this medical shit. And I know, living in Canada, thankfully most of this is covered, but a lot of it isn't. A lot of the medication, like the medications themselves I'm paying for. And I've been on a lot of medications. Yeah, a lot of these things I've had to pay out of pocket for just to not be on the wait list for like 6 months. Um, the gaming channel is going to be different. Um, the editor that has been doing the gaming channel for the past year and just basically managing it by themselves, they're moving on and focusing on their own stuff. So I've got a couple other editors that are going to uh, make content for the gaming channel as well. And then I should remind people who might not be familiar. Uh, at this point, I don't like spend any time on the managing or editing of the gaming channel. I just literally spend some hours, like I don't know, 5 hours a week now on average, playing video games. Um, I used to do like 10-hour streams every Sunday, but now I'm lucky if I don't feel exhausted after 5. So, um, yeah, sorry anybody that watches the stream. I know we used to have like a really consistent thing going, but I know it's been difficult. It's been really difficult, and I like playing video games. I like doing that, but it's been difficult. So I plan to have some sort of a consistent streaming schedule in the future. Just right now, there is not one. I should also mention, uh, sometimes I get comments, people being like, "Why do they'll look at the highlights channel, the YMS highlights channel, and they'll be like, "You spend so much time streaming, that's why you're not working on the other stuff." Um, I believe that all of the dates for when those streams are posted at the beginning of each of those videos. So do yourself a favor if you have that opinion and just go through each of those. Go through each of those and just check the dates. Because basically, what I do for the highlights channel is I'll do like 2 hours a month, maybe, like where I just do like one stream, and the purpose of that stream is to like do a trailer reaction stream, and I just go through all of them. Like I have a list of them on my phone. I'm just like, okay, I have energy today. I'm just gonna watch trailers for a couple hours, and then that's all. That's content for a month. Streamers have it easy. Like the input to output is 1-to-1. The amount of time you spend recording is the amount of time you get content wise, whereas like edited content is just so much more time consuming, right? Watching the movie, writing, recording, editing, like all of those are different processes. Um, Let me know in the comments, because you know maybe in this maybe in this weird transitionary period, if it's like too much in terms of like a time commitment to be doing like quickie theater things, let me know if it would make sense to just do like vlog style reviews for like more recent films. And I mean, like, I'm not checking out every recent film right now. Like, I'm trying not to fill up all of my time with doing that as well. So I'm not watching as many new movies in theaters outside of like film festival stuff right now. But um, I have been doing streams on this YMS channel, like quickie catch up streams every so often. I haven't done one in a while, so I guess I'd have a lot to talk about if I did another one. But yeah, I guess that's not a bad idea for to try and like fill in the gaps. Or yeah, maybe I'll post like a vlog style quickie, or a few of them if I see a recent movie and it makes sense to like try and jump on it for the algorithm. Because people, tend to click on new movie that everybody saw, sort of thing. So if it happens to be one that I'm also seeing, then that might make sense. yeah, there's I guess once again I'll remind any YouTube peers that I have some editors that have worked on the channel for a while that are now looking for extra work just because of all this shit. Huge domino effect of having to restructure and reorganize and everything I'm doing. I'm just gonna skim through my notes and see if there's anything that I didn't mention that I should have. I'm sure there's a bunch. Yeah. I hate doing sponsorship shit. I've done it like a few times. I just don't like it. I think I'll still maybe do the Audible one every once in a while. Because, like, I actually use the app, you know? But just, like, I don't know. audibletrial.com/YMS. You can listen to audiobooks. There you go. So things have been kind of shit. Things have been kind of tough, but I'm doing a lot better than I was a few months ago. Scrolling. I've got a lot of notes about my health shit. And sorry for this weird noise. Maybe I'll sing a little song. Or maybe not. I think that's it. Yeah, a lot of my free time has been eaten up by like figuring all this shit out and trying different things, and it seems like I'm still doing that, but I feel like I have more things that work and more things that help. So yeah, that's what things have been like. Oh yeah, here's a note. I'm considering even looking into if maybe I got like long COVID or something. Because apparently there's such a thing as long COVID gut dysbiosis, and there's also such a thing as long COVID like extreme fatigue, like chronic fatigue from long COVID. Like I wonder, you know? No fucking idea. Oh yeah, I tried intermittent fasting. I tried that. Yeah. Thank you for your patience. I know that I've been on the platform for a while, like 15 years. And most of that 15 years I've worked at like 150%. So with this past year working at 50%, I think it like evens out a little. I think it's fine. I should be able to have like some sort of like a period where I can be in a crisis and hopefully not lose everything. It sucks because I know that when you're not posting frequently, it doesn't go out to people's sub boxes, and then it's difficult to get people back. So I might be. It might be a long journey trying to like build the channel up again, you know. But I accept it, and obviously, having even if I lose a bunch of subscribers, starting fresh with 900,000 subscribers or whatever, it's better than starting from zero. So, wow, look at all these notes. I'm just trying to figure out what's even worth saying anymore. Ramble, ramble, ramble. I'm just making noises. Yep. Oh yeah, somebody's. I watched Mufasa because on Patreon, people voted for me to watch it, even though I didn't want to watch it yet, and it was kind of funny. I did a watch along stream. So I'm thinking that will be edited into a YMS watches thing. I would like to do a full review of it, but I don't want to do a full review of it until obviously Lion King Part 2 is done. So don't be surprised if you see that. I don't want to see people going like, wow, does this mean Lion King Part 2 is not happening? Even though I know that even with this fucking video, people are going to say that, but whatever. Anyway, now you know if you care to know. Here's another note. My short-term memory was fucking decimated. Like I have one of the best memories of anybody I know, but I would just be constantly fucking forgetting things. Like I wasn't basically my mental state during these periods has been like I'm drunk or high except without feeling good. Like I'm impaired without any of the positive effects. So I would just lose things and forget things and like miss appointments and not remember conversations and like yeah, shit's been fucking scary, honestly, but the ADHD meds are helping. I just got to figure out how to find the right one and not have high blood pressure now. Oh yeah, here's another thing that was fucking me up. So with all of this, all these gut and mental issues came like my immune system being fucked. So like I was on top of all that, I was getting like a cold every 2 weeks. That seems to be improved now. I mean, I was literally sick like a week ago, but I think before that point it had been at least 3 weeks. So we're improving. Like I seem to have like a bit more of an immune system now, but holy fuck. That was so frustrating. Like getting sick, like a cold sick on top of gut sick and mental sick, getting cold sick on top of that, and then getting another cold like 2 weeks later. Repeat. You know, that fucking sucked. So I guess I'll update again if things get worse. Not expecting them to. I'm looking for a therapist. That might help. Yeah, sometimes like I still get intestinal pain when I wake up. But things are getting better. Things are getting better. The fact that I'm able to like record this at all is proof that I'm getting better. So, fuck. I wish I had dated some of these notes because some of those have changed, and I was, whatever. Scrolling. Yeah, I have these like dents in my fingernails. And I've talked to a doctor about that. I should probably call them back. See if they can figure out what the fuck that was about. Like, does that mean like I was deficient in something during that time? I've been tested for everything, so. Oh yeah, I'll be selling some old Blu-rays. I do that every few years. I'll be doing that hopefully in the summer. Keep your eye out for that. I'll post something about it somewhere. But yeah, I'm going to be signing them, and that's going to be difficult while my arm is useless. So we'll see how July looks. I don't know. All right, this video is over an hour, so thank you so much for your patience. Things are getting better. Things are getting way better. I'm still figuring things out, but we're past the worst of it. And that's basically what I've been up to. It's just a gigantic, not fun time. Yeah. So thank you for your support. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Oh yeah, also I mentioned the monthly rambles on various topics. You get a better deal if you do it through Patreon. Because I have a legacy Patreon account. I created it like way back when, so they take like not much of a cut whereas YouTube takes more of a cut. So I charge more on YouTube for the monthly rambles than on Patreon. So you pay less on Patreon, but I still make more money on Patreon, even though you're paying less. Just less goes to YouTube, basically. Yeah, there's like, how many of these exist right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 monthly rambles. Some of them are hours. That's a lot of content. You should check it out. Thanks, everybody. Sorry for all my shit, but it is what it is. Synecdoche. Bye-bye. Love you all. Thank you.